What up? It's Jack, and I'm back with another YouTube video. The last one I posted did really well, so I appreciate all the support. This one, we're going to be reacting to the best NBA players in 2020, uh, posted on sportsnot.com by Jared Castillo. So thanks to Jared. Shout out to you guys. This was October 9th, so I believe that's right around when the finals was ending. So this should include it or take into account the bubble play. I haven't looked at it. I briefly looked at it to make sure it wasn't anything absurd. Like I wanted to make sure if they were including Steph Curry and KD, but I don't know the exact ranking. So you're gonna get my raw reaction to this. I was trying to find a list that was posted recently, and this was one of the most recent ones I found. If there's anything else you guys want to see me react to, leave it in the comments below. Let me know. But yeah, let's get right into it. Best NBA players. So it says, now that the big three super team era is over, there's plenty of parity again. Every franchise has at least one or two legitimate stars. Top 40 NBA players right now. Number 40, RJ Barrett. All right. I don't know if they're trying to include somebody from every team, but there is no way RJ Barrett should be in the top 40 NBA players right now. Same upside. I don't know. He has a lot of potential. I'm a believer in RJ. I think he can be good still, but I don't think he's top 40. Colin Sexton, same thing. I like Colin Sexton. Do I think he's top 40 in the NBA? No. But, like, this is better than RJ. I think Sexton's better than RJ. I think Sexton can be a guy that can average 20 points a game. And I think he could be an all-star once or twice. But top 40 right now, I don't think so. Blake Griffin, coming off an injury. I don't think. Huh. Interesting. I don't think he should be top 40 right now. I think he could easily be next season. So I'm not. I'm not gonna discount this too much because I do think Blake Griffin can still have an impact. I just don't think he's the same player he was. 38 might not be too off for Blake Griffin, but we'll keep going. Devonte Graham, 37. Wow, it's really high for Devonte Graham. Um, 18, 7, and 3. Yes, but you have to take into account he didn't shoot the ball very well at all. I think he shot like 40% and then 30 something percent. He's good. Top 40, I don't think so, but we'll keep going. Levine. See, when you have Zach Levine right next to Devonte Graham, that's tough. Levine's really good offensively. He's athletic. He can shoot, but defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired, to put it kindly. Top 40, though. I think you can argue that Levine should be top 40. Definitely above everybody that we've seen so far. We'll keep moving. I want to get a. Okay, so Rudy Gobert is 2 spots above Devonte Graham, and 1 spot above who was it? Levine. Rudy Gobert is a two-time defensive player of the year, all defensive first team for years and years. And who's right below him? Vucevic. There. So you're telling me that Rudy Gobert, who's been in the playoffs, I don't even know how many years in a row now, best defensive center in the NBA, right? Two-time defensive player of the year, is not as good as Nikola Vucevic, who's made the All-Star game once. So has Rudy, but he has never been on an All-NBA team, never been on an All-Defensive team, as far as I know, and squeaks into the playoffs every year. Uh-huh. All right. All right, Jared. I don't know if I'm agreeing with you here. What's next? Sabonis. All right. Rudy Gobert is horrendously underrated, apparently, by these guys. And then who's after Sabonis? Lowry's this low? All right. Okay. Sabonis, a little high for my liking. I don't know who's going to be in the top 30. I think Rudy Gobert should definitely be higher than he is. And this is without seeing anybody else. I think Lowry could be higher. Who's right above Lowry? De'Aaron Fox above Kyle Lowry seems wrong to me. Because you gotta think. De'Aaron Fox has never made the playoffs in his career. It's a short career, but he's never made the playoffs. Kyle Lowry's been an All-Star for 6 years in a row, I believe. He's won a championship. And he lost in the second round. But he won a championship. And this is I don't know, man. I don't know, man. No, there's no way Fox should be above Lowry. Drew Holiday, I like the Drew Holiday respect. He plays elite defense. He can be a scorer when he needs to be. I mess with that. I think Lowry should definitely be higher. Rudy Gobert should definitely be higher. Fox is too high. DeMar DeRozan, at this point in their careers, I think Lowry is better than DeRozan. I think DeRozan's game doesn't fit where the NBA is. I'm not saying DeRozan's a bad player. I'm just saying he doesn't shoot as much as he needs to. I think Lowry should definitely be above him. I think Drew Holiday should definitely be above him. I think Rudy Gobert should definitely be above him. I'm finding some issues with this list so far. Ja Morant. Wow. See, I don't think Ja Morant. I'm going to compare to Kyle Lowry because they play the same position. I don't think Ja Morant is too far behind Kyle Lowry, but I don't think you could put Ja Morant above Kyle Lowry just yet. Kyle Lowry is one of the most underrated players in the league. I'm a Celtics fan, and I can admit that Kyle Lowry is completely underrated. On my podcast from the Rafters, me and my co-host Sam always debate, and he doesn't like Kyle Lowry. I really like Kyle Lowry. I think Kyle Lowry plays with grittiness and toughness. I think he should definitely be above Ja Morant. I think Rudy Gobert should be above Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant's a great player, but I don't know. Maybe too high. CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is above Rudy Gobert, Kyle Lowry, Drew Holiday. CJ McCollum is not a good defender, which all of the three former that I just said are great defenders. CJ McCollum's never made an all-star team. All of the former have made all-star teams. Never made an all-defensive team. Rudy Gobert has made plenty. CJ McCollum never won a championship. Kyle Lowry's won a championship. I'm just not seeing where McCollum should be this high on this list. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like Drew, Rudy, Lowry definitely need to be higher. All right. I need to read. In all honesty, Aldridge and the aforementioned DeRozan could switch positions on this list and no one bat an eye. Both players are similar. His advanced age make it difficult to be ranked higher. Yeah, it does make it difficult to be ranked higher. I'm surprised he's this high. Wow. Wow. I don't know why Marcus Aldridge is this high on this list. Kind of baffles me a little bit, if I'm going to be honest. Definitely not as good as Rudy Gobert. Don't think Bradley Beal. Okay, we're back to players that should be ranked this high. Concerns me that Bradley Beal's, I don't know, 25 might be around right. Maybe a little higher, but you could argue Bradley Beal's top 20. I think Bradley Beal is the best player we've seen on this list so far. You could argue Gobert above Beal. You could argue, I wouldn't argue Lowry above Beal, but Gobert's the only player I could say you should argue that Beal is not as good as. But Beal scored 30 a game last season. Jayson Tatum's at 24. All right, maybe it's my Celtics bias, but for a guy that says right here, I'll lock to be an All-Star every year if he keeps playing this way, you're putting him at 24. That seems a little disrespectful. Who's above him? All right, Jayson Tatum is better than Kemba Walker. And these are both players on my favorite team, so I can say for certain Jayson Tatum is definitely better than Kemba Walker. Personally, I had Kyle Lowry better than Kemba Walker on my point guard rankings list that I made for Bannertown. No. I think Jayson Tatum should definitely be above Kemba. I think Jayson Tatum should be top 20 in the NBA. Who's above here? Klay Thompson. It's hard for me to argue against this because Klay Thompson is such a good two-way player, but he's coming off an injury. I think you could argue that Jayson Tatum should be above Klay Thompson. I'm not going to complain about it, but I mean, all right, Cat. I don't think Cat should be above Tatum. I don't think Cat should be above Gobert. I think Gobert is a better center than Karl-Anthony Towns at this point. Offensively, Karl-Anthony Towns is probably the best center in the game, but Rudy's the best defensive center in the game. And when one has made the playoffs and defensive teams, and I don't know. That's a debate. I think they should be much closer on this list than they are. I think Tatum should be above Cat. I think Lowry and Drew Holiday should be above Cat. Who else has been up here? I think Klay Thompson should be above Cat. Kemba could be. Bradley Beal should be above Cat. I don't know. I'm finding a lot of problems with this list. Chris Paul, I can respect. I think Chris Paul deserves to be up here. Whether or not he's better than, I think the best player we've seen on this list is probably Jayson Tatum. You could argue Tatum above Chris Paul, but I'm not going to complain if you put Chris Paul above Tatum. That's my opinion. Joel Embiid's 19th. In my opinion, Joel Embiid is a top 10 player in the NBA, so I'm very curious to see who they have above Joel Embiid. Devin Booker above Embiid. Devin Booker has never made the playoffs. Joel Embiid has led his team to the playoffs. I think Beal is better than Booker. That's a debate. That's a really close debate. I think Tatum is better than Booker. I think you could argue Kyle Lowry and Drew Holiday. Devin Booker is underrated, but he is not this underrated to the point where you have to put him 18th. Yeah, 8-0 run in Orlando, and he still missed the playoffs. Like, that doesn't say. There's no way that he should be above Embiid. All right, this is ridiculous. Trae Young is good. Trae Young has been good for 2 years. Kyle Lowry has made the All-Star team for 6 years in a row. Yes, Trae Young averaged almost 30 points per game as a sophomore on one of the worst teams in the NBA. I think Trae Young's a top 10 point guard in the league. Is he a top 20 player in the league? No. I'm sorry. Kemba Walker, I think, should be above him in terms of point guards. Kyle Lowry should. Rudy Gobert in terms of players. Joel Embiid was an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year candidate for the past few seasons, right? Yes, he didn't perform well in the playoffs this year. But Trae Young is maybe the worst defender in the NBA, right? There is 0% of me that thinks Trae Young should be above Joel Embiid on any list. Above Jayson Tatum on any list. Yeah, no. I don't agree with that one. Siakam and Paul George. We'll do them both, I guess, because I spoiled it. Siakam, I suppose you could argue. I think Tatum should be above Siakam. I think they both made All-NBA teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. Also, Chris Paul should definitely be above Trae Young. I forgot about Chris Paul. It was already on this list. I think Embiid's definitely above Siakam, and I think you could argue Jayson Tatum. I think those are two of the only players. Chris Paul, maybe. Paul George, after the bubble. I don't think the bubble killed his stock that much. I do think it killed it a little bit because that was a really rough performance. He hit the side of the backboard. But Paul George is still a top 20 player in the league. He was an MVP candidate 2 years ago. Maybe he's coming off an injury. I know he was injured. So you can't discount him too much. Donovan Mitchell. So Mitchell's above Booker. I agree. He's above Tatum. Don't agree. He's above Embiid. Don't agree. Embiid's horribly placed on this list. That's the biggest thing for me at this point. Jaylen Brown wasn't on this list. And R.J. Barrett was. And there's no way they put Jaylen Brown top 13. Wow. So Jaylen Brown is not a top 40 player in the league. And R.J. Barrett is. And Colin Sexton is. Jokic 13. Okay. I don't have a problem with this. Joel Embiid, Jokic should be much closer than it is on this list. But I don't have a problem with him 13. Kyrie 12. Again, I don't really have a problem with it. Kyrie's Kyrie. He's going to do Kyrie things. Dame's 11. All right. So Curry's probably above him. And that's probably the top 2 point guards on this list. A constant triple-double threat. Westbrook has yet to properly lead a team deep in the playoffs. So let me get this straight. The first line of the 10th best player in the NBA has yet to properly lead a team deep into the playoffs. And he's 10th. Let me just go over this. Has made the conference finals. Has won an NBA championship. Has made the conference finals. Has beaten Russell Westbrook in the playoffs, I believe, and has made the conference finals. Has won an NBA championship. Trae Young. Devin Booker, I think, is better. Has MVP caliber. Russell Westbrook is way too overrated on this list. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think Russell Westbrook was barely a top 10 point guard in my opinion. Russell Westbrook is great at driving. He's a former MVP, but his decision making in this year's playoffs was some of the worst I've ever seen in my life. He is not as good. Let's look at point guard specifically. I think Lillard is better than Westbrook. I think Irving is better than Westbrook. Where's more point guards? More point guards. Young. I had him higher than Westbrook on my list, but that's debatable. Paul better than Westbrook. Excuse me. Walker better than Westbrook on my list. This is all on my list that I made. John Morant I had higher than Westbrook on my list. I had Kyle Lowry. He's coming up, right? I had Kyle Lowry higher than Westbrook on my list. Where is Kyle Lowry? Gobert is ridiculously low. Lowry's right there. I didn't have Fox as high as Lowry. I mean, as high as Westbrook. But yeah, no. Westbrook should not be top 10. I think he should be around 15 to 20 in the NBA. Let's keep going. Kevin Durant's 9. Kevin Durant's 9. Kevin Durant should be a top 5 player in the NBA without question, and in the conversation for the best player in the league. I think this is absurd. He's a 7-footer that can shoot threes and create his own shot at will, play elite level defense. In conversation for the best scorer, the best scorer ever is what I was gonna say. No. This is who's above him. Luka's above KD. Disagree. Although Luka is top 10. Butler above Luka and KD. I don't agree with. Respect to Butler for what he did. I think he should be around the 9 to 12 range, 8 to 12 range in the NBA. Harden, not top 5 is a little weird. Davis above him, sure. Curry above him, sure. Okay, never mind. Giannis 3, yep. Kawhi and then LeBron, yeah. The top 3 is good. Top 3, even top 4, I'll put Steph up there. I think KD should be up here. AD is respectfully high. Harden around there. I would move KD up to 4, Curry to 5, AD 6, Harden 7, and then that top 7 is fine with me. You can debate interchangeably. But the rest of this list, I think, is just a little bit. Jaylen Brown wasn't on this list, and RJ was. Yeah. I don't know. Embiid. So, okay, we'll go through the worst placements in my opinion. I guess Durant, too low, way too low, criminally low. Westbrook, way too high. Dame a little too low. That's not a problem. I want to look at some of the worst ones. Mitchell's too high for me. I think he's a very good player. This is a bit much. Trae Young, way too high on this list. Booker a little too high. Embiid way too low on this list. Should be at least 6 or 7 spots above where he is. Chris Paul, not terrible. Cat a little too high. Tatum a little too low for my liking. Beal, not terrible. Morant's a little too high. Drew Holiday, Lowry's too low. He should be higher. Gobert should definitely be higher. I feel like they're leaving some players out that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head because I feel like they're missing some really good NBA players. Oladipo's not on this list. Who else isn't on this list? I feel like I'm definitely forgetting people. Shooting guards, you got Harden, Lowry, Levert. I mean, no, I guess they didn't forget anybody huge. If they did, let me know. Jaylen Brown is probably one of the biggest names. Brandon Ingram's not on this list. And RJ Barrett is. Let me just think of players who are better than RJ Barrett really quick. Because I bet it won't be that hard to do. Let's see here. Let me think of the all-star teams. Booker was above him. Maybe he didn't forget any all-stars, but there's Tyler Herro's a better Zion. Oh. All right, I'm not a big Zion guy, but Zion is 1,000,000% better than RJ Barrett, right? That's not just me. That's not just me. Who won most improved? Oh, Bam Adebayo's not on this list, and RJ Barrett is. Tyler Herro's better than RJ Barrett. Kyle Kuzma could be better than RJ Barrett. I'm not saying RJ's not going to be good, but right now specifically, let me go through Chris Middleton's not on this list, right? Chris Middleton was an all-star this season, right? I'm just going through the top teams in the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's not on this list. I could go on and on. Jaylen Brown. I said that name so many times because I'm a Celtics fan, but I don't know. I have a lot of problems with this list. Let me know what you guys think of the list. Maybe I was being a little too harsh, specifically on RJ Barrett, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I'll react to some more of their articles. Shout out to Jared. As much as I disagree, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Thank you for making this list. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Make sure to follow Bannertown USA on Twitter and socials. I'm Bannertown Jack. That's where you can find me and my content. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Thank you so much, and peace out.